It's Bear with Vegas Airsoft, and we're going to be doing kind of a dual commentary today with my team captain, KF Graxx. I'll have him introduce himself here in just a second. And pretty much, guys, this is just going to be a culmination of Warfare Wednesday's gameplay clips that I kind of got with the team. And we're just going to be kind of doing a general discussion, weighing in on tactics, movements, thought processes and stuff like that. And also to invite you guys, this is our first Knights Roundtable. We really want you guys to be a part of the family and be in it with us. So just kind of pretend as if you're contributing to the conversation on the Knights table. So Graxx, I'm going to hand it off to you, sir.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I am KF Graxx, also known as Knights Forge Graxx's captain of the Knights Forge team. And let me tell you, I'm super excited to be here with Bear. Like he said, we're going to do a little introspective on some Airsoft videos, kind of talk to you guys, open up. The team is a community. We're here as a team to welcome everybody. And like he said, we want everybody to feel like they're a part of this. So I'm ready to start rolling into the first video whenever you are, Bear.
So this is a 1v1 on the Speedsoft side. And again, if you guys are new viewers that are coming on to the channel, Battle Labs here in Las Vegas is Knight Forge's kind of home field as well as my home field. This is a premier CQB indoor experience. They just did an update on the map layout this week. So we're kind of learning and going through growing pains there. And, one of the cool things about this place is they're constantly trying to innovate and bring newer players and everybody to the field. So at the end of that 1v1 here, I'm going to transition over to, I am trying to find the right clip. So Graxx, hey, just give me some patience here. We'll go here.
Oh, good. I'm going to pitch in on the Battle Lab thing, and it's kind of the reason why Battle Lab is our home base field, is because it's all about community growth. It's all about, getting new players on the field, getting veteran players on the field, everybody learning and having a good time. And I will tell you that I've played all across the country. I've played everywhere from Balahac to Zulu to just random fields spotted all across the U.S. And there is not quite a crazier CQB experience than there is at Battle Lab. It's a fun one.
Yeah, and right now, the video that's up on the screen, and I just want to make sure the screen share is still working for you on your end, right, Cap?
You have it closed. Go ahead and hit share screen again, and I should be able to pull it up.
You got it. Well, good news is we can restart that clip, and our guys will have no idea we're just jib-jacking, jaw-wagging. So give me just a second here. We'll share the screen. There you go. It's kind of cool. This is kind of like a podcasty kind of a feel, right? Like it's kind of like the team guys kind of coming together and kind of just having a little open discussion a little bit.
Bunch of knights at a round table, man. Couldn't feel more at home.
So here's this clip here. You can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. So this is the new layout. This is actually my second match actually playing on this field. And I think you know, being Cap, like how quickly I move and I'm methodical through these types of layouts. You're going to see me like really going through my infantile turtle slow learning stage here. Everything's going to be really deliberate and very methodic. And then two, the viewers get to kind of see the new layout here at the Battle Labs location. So, and I am using the SEMA Platinum MP5. One of the things that I figured out is I can't run full auto on an 11.1 battery, so I think I'm going to try the 7.4 this week when we go and play. But anyhow, yeah. I'll start the clip, and then Cap, you just kind of give me your feedback. I'll take a step back and just tell me what you're seeing, and if there's any tips or tricks or anything like that you want to weigh in on.
Well, and I mean, as you can see, normally for you, I already can say, you like to push that cross right there across the middle of the field, and I see you taking up the left side instead this time because that barrel jungle has kind of shaken up the entire left side of the field coming from captains. And that was a big push that a lot of players made to have a more footwork-based spot. But I mean, right here, man, you cruise. You are classic car show cruising through these corners like nobody's business. It just shows well-attuned and well-trained, even in new environments.
And I think you bring out a very good point. And guys, and that's one of the cool thing about playing like at your home field with a team. I mean, I'm very fortunate enough that I have been able to, stumble on to the Knights Forge team and been able for us to go and do the Airsoft appreciation event. That was a really cool experience for us, kind of getting started and getting rocking and rolling. But one of the things that I've come to appreciate just about it in general is once you get to know how your teammates' play style is, they kind of know what you're going to do before you do it. And I think that's the funniest thing about it is I already know where you're going to zip zap off to, kind of in the midst of everything. So let me just go ahead and make sure I got to share can you still see the screen okay?
Nope, you are all good. But yeah, like you said, man, the synergy between us is immaculate, especially with as much as we play together. And with you kind of running the midweek games and us kind of running the weekend games, we get to jump around between teammates. I get to play a little bit with everybody throughout the team and just watch everybody grow. And it's just such an awesome sight to see everybody coming together and growing. And the more that I watch us grow, the more confident I get knowing I can run out into the middle of the field and I'm not going to get shot in the back or somebody's going to have my left flank. It just makes the game so much more fun and so much more exciting to know that I'm moving with a unit.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where like my military background comes in, where like operating in a fire team and having that cohesive in sync movement and understanding of one another's behavior. With all the real steel classes that I've taken, it's that non-verbal communication cues. So I feel like as if like in the last video that I actually posted, I believe it may have been the Warfare Wednesday video before this one that's coming out. But there is those two initial grenade scenes. When you split the corner and kick right to kill, I don't even have to say anything to you and you don't have to say anything to me. And it's like initially I'm like, okay, he's got kill and he's going to be working cubby long. I need to be securing his 6 o'clock and making sure nobody's crossing or button hooking around to you. So I think that's a really good point to bring up, that nonverbal and that trust and communication. And there's a little Caden there. I'm going to give him a little booby scoop.
little guy. I mean, he's the biggest little guy on the field though. This clip right here specifically, right, brings out a lot of what you were just talking about with the training and the real steel training. And it goes to a tribute to you, man, how much of a natural teacher you are. I mean, you see these guys all here, and a lot of these guys aren't the pro players like we are. They aren't the weekend warriors, if you will. They're once, maybe twice a month players, but you turn this into a learning experience for them. Everybody behind you in this clip right now just learned something from you, and watching it come through. These guys move through, they watch you, and I see them every month or two come in and become better players because they're running with us, because they ran Warfare Wednesdays with KF Bear, because they ran, Slaughter Saturdays with KF Graxx, and it's a big up for you and everybody on the team, because I love how much that attributes to the community around us and watching everybody here grow.
Yeah, I mean, it's been truly a really special experience for me. And, being there and just watching the community grow. And then, the coolest thing that's been happening to me as of recent is some of the younger kids. I've actually bumped into a few of the subscribers on the channel where they've come up and they're like, wait, are you Bear? Are you the Vegas Airsoft guy? And it's happened to me twice already. And I'm like, yeah, I'm him. And it's amazing because I get to connect with our community. I get to connect with the people that are watching us. And I don't know. Well, I'm just so appreciative of it.
And as Cap, I'll toot your horn all day long, buddy. I will always say, look at these videos, check this guy out, because, man, you are just such a positive influence to the community. And as somebody who's been around, and I haven't been in our local community for long, but the time that I have spent and what I've learned about it is we didn't have a lot of this before. We didn't have a lot of the amenities for the airsofters and a lot of the places for us to go and be airsofters. A lot of it was very limited to paintball players that allowed us to use their fields, kind of thing. And so it just shows how much the community needed this and how much it's blossomed and how much it's flourished. And I have so much fun running these things, and shit, man, even I learn shit from you every time I watch you play. I love watching your videos and seeing this footage. Like, look at you crash out right here and just cubby 1, cubby 2, corner 1, corner 2, and rabbits run. Man, there's just no getting past you.
And it's
check the gun and make sure it works.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's the weird thing about the big old flat face trigger on this SEMA MP5 is I find myself getting hung up on it a lot when I'm doing my transitions. And again, you know me, I'm so used to working an 11.5 rifle or a Mark 18 size rifle, something very compact but still that 5.56 platform. So this is me really stepping out of my cage here to try and do something different with a different platform. And I don't even know what to say, Cap. I mean, this is just, it's so cool that the channel has gotten, we're almost at 5,000 subscribers as of tonight.
It tickles me pink to see that every time that the new post comes and then the new video comes out and I watch the subscribers shoot up and I sit here and, I'm one of the first people that watches your stuff, and I like to sit here after I'm done watching the video and just watch the likes hike their way up. Because being the captain of this team isn't about being competitive. It's not about being, the biggest guy on the field. It's not about having the biggest ego. It's about having fun, and it's about watching me and my friends succeed at something that we love. And that is, I can't get closer to that literal definition than what I just said with your videos and watching everything hike up and watching the viewer counts rise and sharing that with people. It just makes me happy, man. I couldn't be more ecstatic for you and for the team and for just everything around it.
And and two, like it is because of the wonderful support system that I have with the team, and Tony and Caden, like they give me ideas for videos all the time. Like the John Wick idea pretty much came from Caden to some semblance, and like just those little things, like trying to give back to the community that has invested much of their time in watching my videos and my content. But I mean, you guys continue to push me to push the envelope, to do better, to produce quality content. I know I've come to you on several occasions and be like, Cap, how do I do this? Or what do you think is the best idea for the algorithm and sharing this content? And you've given me a wealth of information just with your background and your real world experience.
And I want to first of all thank you, man. All I want to do is help, and I love when you come to me with questions. I love when all you guys come to me with questions because it makes me feel useful, if that makes sense. But I would like to touch on the Tony and Caden topic too. Tony being our sponsor for the team, and Caden being our heavy artilleryman, and really I can't express how much of a blessing everybody has been on the team. But Tony and Caden coming together and just giving the literal shirts off their backs to make sure that we all grow together and to make sure that this team flourishes into the community staple it's supposed to be. I couldn't thank them enough. On top of that, outside of Airsoft and everything, the friendship that I get from them. I mean, Caden, the kid is 12. And I've learned more life lessons from him than I have learned from most adults in my life, which is something to say. I mean, I got to give him credit. He's the most mature guy I know.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. And I think a lot of that credit, goes to his dad and just the type of humble, professional human being that he is. And just the pure of heart. Like, it's very seldom that you come across people that just have that pure heart. And I'll say a lot of our guys on our team, they're the exact same way. I hear so much about encouraging and growing one another's crafts and trades within the team. Oh, I just fumbled fucked the grenade right there.
That grenade was insane just now.
That is what I call the fairy fumble fuck grenade right there. That's what that is. That is the, oh shit, stuff is going down. And I don't know why I'm still trying to cycle this guy's armband right now. The rounds
muscle memory. It was 100% muscle memory. Killer grenade though.
And then I go and do my walk of shame to pick it up after the fact. Oh, there's two. I forgot I threw two of those back there.
These are my favorite.
Oh man. Well, it's kind of funny because in my previous video, I don't know if you remember it or not, but it was when I pretty much first got these grenades and we were playing together. You were kind of teasing and laughing at everybody, like the guys were kind of saying, dude, that guy just throws so many grenades, like what the heck? And you're just like, yeah, when Sam sees a problem, he throws a grenade at it. And I have been able to use that in quite a few of my videos and stuff like that after the fact and be like, yeah, I throw grenades at problems. That's what I do. That's what I'm known for.
Between you and KF Death Dealer, aka Tony, right? Well, it was 2 weeks ago, I think, or a week ago. I was playing with you and Tony, and I ran out in the middle of the field, and I'm looking for somebody, and I can't find anyone. And then I stop, and I hear grenade to my left, grenade to my right, grenade to my left, grenade to my right, grenade to my left, grenade to my right. I stopped, and I looked at Impera, and I went, well, I guess we win. And he goes, yeah, guys, I'm just going to go stand back and spawn.
It's just, oh, man. And I'm going to kind of I had a little bit of a ADHD moment here. I just got pulled. So these next couple of matches, Cap, this is kind of as the night has been progressing. There's been a little bit of, the rookie not calling their shots, beginner players and stuff like that. There's kind of been some overshooting throughout the evening. I got plenty of bruises on my body currently that can prove that fact, But at this point, I'm beginning to to move to my pistol. And I did, and throwing a grenade.
Moments. You're teaching them a lesson, and sometimes it's got to come with a little bit of hard love.
And I think you can attest, because you're the one that's kind of put me on to the more, I don't want to say speed soft because that's such a negative connotation, but I think you put me on a more progressive kind of play style, using the pistols and the sidearms and kind of the lighter rig gear as opposed to my more mil sim style. And I think it's kind of with the real world training and everything like that. I think the pistol, people are almost kind of scared when I pull it out. I've been told I'm scary sometimes.
Oh, you can definitely tell you know your way around a 9mm. That's for sure. And you know, it's funny to bring that up. So when I started playing Airsoft, I built out an entire like a heavy milsim loadout. We're talking arm pads, full plate carrier, backpack, the full 9. And I played in that for a little while, and as I played, I started to go, you know what, okay, I'm enjoying this, but it does become a lot to, you know, cry pants, boots, fucking combat shirt, then you got your helmet, then you got your breastplate with your pads and everything, and it becomes a lot. So I slowly but surely kind of transitioned over to some of the Speedsoft stuff and started playing with the lighter rig. And I talked to one of my friends that does, you know, real steel training and stuff like that in the real world outside of Airsoft. And he had kind of said, well, you know, if you were ever to get in an altercation, God forbid you do, and you had to pull your weapon, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have time to stop and put your plate carrier on and change into your boots and do your stuff. So wouldn't it make more real-world sense to train in lighter gear that would be more appropriate to jumping out of your car in an emergency situation? And that kind of stuck with me to the point that I was like, you know what? Yeah, okay. So I came and I played for a few weeks in a hoodie and some jeans. I played in a normal kit with a pistol, and that's where it kind of grew for me. That's where my Tony with the Saiga, that is the most...
Oh my God. I'm so glad you said something. I was hoping you were, because I had to say something about it. The chunk that comes out of that fucking gun and that man holding the gun, excuse my French for my YouTube viewers, this is an over to 18 channel, hopefully. Yeah, he has shot me with that thing so many times. I hate it and I love it at the same time.
It's a very, what I like to call fee-fi faux fum feeling, because here it comes, you know what I mean? You hear Tony around the corner, chugga, 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 and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I moved into the lighter gear, started playing like that, and that's what really opened me up to Speedsoft. So I've been trying to kind of spread that influence amongst everybody.
Well, and I can tell you this, like, even just in the last few weeks, when I first started playing here at Battle Labs, same thing. I'm doing full military kit. You know, I'm running like the assaulter plate carrier with actual, you know, training plates in it. I'm running the, you know, the ACH combat helmet, you know, using mock nods, you know, just trying to go for like the full 9s on the milsim side of it. And I can see myself, if I wasn't using my helmet as a recording device, I would probably start moving towards like a push mask or whatever it is that you guys run, and just going for some really light gear, because it's games like these where I'm just like, really, do I need to have, you know, the Army combat uniform on or the AOR1 combat uniform on? No, I'll just do blue jeans and a t-shirt. Screw it.
Your purpose build, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I have my big loadout. Yeah, I still wear it here once, maybe twice a month, but most of the time I prefer my lighter build just because it's convenience, you know, end all be all. As much as I like to take it into account as sometimes we use it for training, sometimes we use it for this or that, it's a game. You know, we come, we play this game, we get better at this game, and I want to be able to enjoy it without being a sweat puddle by the time we get to IHOP.
Yeah, seriously. And so I'm going to give you a perspective. There'll be another clip, and I'll surprise you with it here in a minute. But basically what's going on in this clip right now is I'm, you know, doing the Speedsoft typical battle where you're just whoever can hose the corner. And that right there, that jump shot right there, that is a predecessor to a clip that I'm going to show you here in just a minute. If I can find it. Hopefully I can find it. But I think you're right. I think it's important for us as players to almost evolve or maybe develop skill sets beyond what our normal real world understanding is. So I think you really touched on a really good point there.
It becomes an asset of practical application. I mean, yeah, you know what? Maybe jumping and shooting your 9 at the target range probably isn't the best idea. But in Airsoft, when it becomes a practical application, yeah, absolutely, totally. And that's a skill you learn, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think too, you know, you've kind of opened up or helped open up my eyes a little bit, as well as, you know, Caden and Tony. They have really encouraged me to try and figure out, you know, different methods while applying the same real world tactics to my gameplay. Sorry, my dog Max is just wanting to push his toy against my leg. You have all of this energy now when Dad's busy. Anyhow, you guys have really kind of allowed me to kind of open and broaden my horizon, and Mosu and Eve's group as well. That, you know, when those guys come and play on Wednesday nights, when they're all a collective together, I have come to have enjoyable games with them, and I think it kind of teaches you to think outside of the box, and, you know, I think have that wonderful level of integrity and understanding that it is a sport at the end of the day, and you want to play as cleanly as you can.
You know, it's not a life or death situation. It should be a shake hands and laugh about it afterwards kind of thing. And unfortunately, you know, just like everything else, there's going to be the few people that you don't get to play with. But like you touched on, like even Mosu's group, those guys are great, you know, and they're just fun people to be around, and they're genuinely interesting people. Like Eve is such an amazing artist, and you'd never even know that unless you started talking to her. It's just cool. But not only does it broaden your horizons, it's cool that you touched on those guys specifically, but it's cool that it broadens your horizons in a way that you meet people that can affect your outside life as well. You know, like you guys as a team. I mean, I've never
almost shot Caden in the ass there.
Look at him. He's like, brother, why? Don't do that. They're over here.
Yeah, that's literally what he's doing. He's normally like, dude, you just scared the crap out of me. And I have to kind of, this is a teachable moment here, Cap. This is a lesson in humility for me, because I always talk about PID, positive ID of your target. And in that particular moment, my booger hook of a finger thought faster than my little small brain did. So, and I could have catastrophically inflicted some pain on a teammate that I didn't need to.
Take a moment to appreciate Caden's 100% pixeled angle right there.
Dude, he's like, I'm trying to think of like the toy ideas of like back in our day when we were kids and stuff like that. But he's like a pocket ninja. That's the best way I can explain it. Like, you deploy him, and what's crazy is he's learned so much from playing in a team environment now. He kind of orbits us. Like, have you noticed that? Like, when he's around you or he's around me or vice versa, he doesn't necessarily have to be on top of us anymore, like for a security blanket. He just kind of orbits the area. That's all he does.
So, Caden, when he first joined the team, right, we gave him the designation KF Galahad, right? It's a knight's name, it's the Knight of the Round Table's name, and it fits him really well because it stands with, you know, a knight of integrity, a knight of family, a knight of, you know, a bunch of these values that really revolve around Caden. And when we kind of talked to him about that, I said, hey, man, what role do you want to play, Caden? What do you want to do? And he goes, I want to be the heavy machine gun guy. I was a little blown back by that, but we were like, okay, you know what? You want to be the support gunner? You can be the support gunner. You squad automatic weapon. I mean, you're half the size of everybody else, and the gun is twice your size, but let's see you do it. Man, that kid put pedal to metal with that thing faster than anybody, and you can tell that he has become the ultimate support player. Like, he will run by your side, have your back the entire way, and if you go down, you best believe he's coming right around the corner to get revenge for you, you know?
It's insane. And then I've noticed improvement, like, and not that, you know, Tony, if you're watching this, not that he is a bad player by absolutely any means, but he has become so much, like, his battle sense is super sharp, as well as Caden's. Like, they're very cognizant of where their team is and where they're orbiting around one another, because there's been times, and I think in the next couple of videos, I'm hoping that it'll show, but there's been times where I orbit out to try and get a different angle on a threat, and I get dropped because I'm a human and I make mistakes, but Tony comes and cleans them up with the Saiga immediately thereafter. And, you know, when we talk about the beginning of their careers or the beginning of their, you know, us meeting and becoming acquainted, you know, that battle sense wasn't there. So it's kind of one of those things where we're enriching and growing each other all from, you know, from scratch. And me as an educated or a seasoned individual, I still learn something new every single time I play with you guys.
Yeah, and that specifically, I'd like to bring up a couple of our teammates. I'd like to bring up Impera, I'd like to bring up Blank, and I'd like to bring up Parker. The three of those guys have opened my eyes so much. And I mean, a little backstory on Impera and Blank. They're paintball players. I mean, they reffed the paintball field here for a long time before it closed down. So they come preliminarily from paintball, and watching them play, I mean, everybody has learned. You can even see it in Caden. He picked up that SSG-1 because of what the guys were teaching him about their paintball style airsoft guns. and just building, and even for me as the captain, you know, man, I can't step on the field for 5 minutes with one of these guys without learning an entirely new concept to the game. And I've been playing for over a year now. You know, it's just a mind-boggling thing to see somebody, you know, half my age teach me so much in such a short amount of time, because they're all good at it, and you could just, the passion really carries over, and it makes me passionate about learning the stuff. You know, and Caden and everybody, I see that rubbing off on everybody, and the real Speedsoft influence and the real footwork, I guess, would be the thing. Like they have taught us all as a team so much crazy maneuvers and footwork when it comes to that kind of gameplay.
Oh yeah, I would agree. Like even with me being a predominant milsimmer, so these next couple of clips, Cap, if they're in order the way that I think that they are, you're gonna see me get stuck in this corner. I'm gonna get stuffed. But I end up getting 3 kills. So that guy that in the shorts that is walking out right now, I already put one down. And I'm telling them if they push that corner, they should have it, because I have a casualty down, and I'm baiting him. I'm watching him, making sure he's not getting revived or anybody's picking him back up. But you're going to see my tunnel vision here. I'm going to get pinned in.
Got your cross there. He's locked in on your cross.
Yep. Now, I mean, we can kind of open commentary, you know, to this, and I think that it's a really good point here. I don't even really know where he's at. As you can see, I'm just starting to try and do some type of pressure. I'm trying to apply some pressure to these guys. And, you know, again, because we didn't capitalize on that push on that right side with the president, we kind of lost our momentum here. And with me being kind of pinned back a little bit farther, you're going to see, I just get in a piston match with this guy in the cubby eventually. I don't even entertain the other part of the field.
I would say, like, as you peek these shots, right? And you've done it a couple of times so far just watching. As you peek these shots, you should be strobing, right? And typically, yes, that would give away right where you are. But in this situation, he already knows where you're at. You don't necessarily know where he's at. And if you look, Tony's got your cross completely. So if you gave him enough light to where Tony could lock in on that shot and really dump for you, I mean, because he's now moved because he can't, there's nothing he can do. But if you lit that up, I mean, at least you'd be able to see a general direction, right? But even still, you're still suppressing to an extent that you gave Tony the opportunity to move. Oh, look, he's all the way up the right side of the field. That man has moved up and on. You've opened that entire path for them. So regardless on if you're hitting him or not, the suppressing fire, yeah, see, there you go. The suppressing fire is working, you know? You're drawing that away from them. You're still alive. You're giving enough feedback to where they can't hit you. And then right here, had you had 3 extra seconds, you would have come around the corner and just made pasta of everybody.
And see, and that's like, you know, I think that's a good point too, where I think a lot of the skill sets of speedsofters or paintballers, you know, it kind of comes into play, because there's those few intermittent exchanges that you see between him and I, where it's like, oh shit, like it's just, he is just laying down hate in my direction, and there is just nothing I can do to get an angle. Peep the fire rate on the MP5 though in full auto. I need to get the bucking and everything fixed. So, and what would you say as far as, I guess this would be kind of a good thing to kind of touch on, seeing as we've been playing together for about a year and a half, year now, thereabouts. You know, new players, when they step into the arena or they step into an environment like this, if you were to put a hierarchy list, what is the most important, what is the least important, and what are the things that you need to be focusing on?
To my real life a little bit to start this off. So I do tattoos for a living, right? So nervous is something I deal with on a constant basis, and I deal with it here as well. And I see a lot of new players that hit the field, whether they're new or have been playing for a couple of months. I see them hit the field and I see the anxiety take over. I see them afraid to push. I see them get lost in that fog of war, if you will. So the number one thing to focus on is just having fun. Don't let being scared or being nervous or being afraid of getting hit make this a scary experience for you. Remember that it's a game at the end, and that you paid your money to come and enjoy time with your friends. Don't make it a memory of you hiding in a corner. Make it a memory of you guys conquering the field together. And never be afraid to ask your local players. I mean, if you see the guy with the decked out gun and all the cool stuff, 9 times out of 10, if you ask him for help, he's gonna help you. It's a very community forward sport, even outside of Knights Forge, you know, and I can boast on any other team in the sport. I mean, there's a couple of them that are going to be bad apples with anywhere you go, but 90% of the people in the sport just want to help you. Outside of that, try to focus on what your teammates are doing. Listen to what the pros are saying, hear them out, you know, maybe they're trying to give you the strategy or the key to win or teach you the thing. Just don't be over nervous or overconfident in any way, and you'll have a great time. And as long as you're having a good time, you're doing it the right way.
See, I would agree with you on that. I mean, I think it's an important and crucial part for, at the end of the day, just like anything, we're not in Afghanistan, we're not in Iraq, we're not on the global war of terror. This is purely a release and an enjoyment and a sport for us. So why not try and take the time to learn from the people that have been immersed in the sport for a long period of time? I mean, I think it's an amazing thing that our community, I can come to you and ask questions, and vice versa. When I'm there on Wednesdays and Thursday nights, I have parents come up and they're asking me questions, you know, with their younger kids and stuff like that. And they're like, you know, what would be the best idea to go and do for this? Or where can I go to get this gear that you have on for him? You know, it's like, it's a very community forward sport. I love that statement out of you, because it is an entirely realistic statement. I mean, this has been the most well-received, non-hostile, very warm and welcoming environment that I have ever been exposed to in my life.
Forces a bit of camaraderie, man. Anything you do with your friends where you leave with a bunch of bumps and bruises, you know, and you can laugh about it, it's gonna breed a kinship between people, whether you like it or not. It's been doing it for thousands of years. You know, you go out and you play football, it's the same thing, or hockey or anything else. And it's cool because I get to see those kids and those parents bonding, like Tony and Caden. You know, they're out there and they're playing their asses off together, you know, and they're a scary combo of people, man. Every time they're on the other team, I avoid them at all costs because they are a scary combo. And, you know, it's a cool thing to see. As a person, I do not like sports games. I understand what they're for, like on the Xbox. I don't want to play NFL or 2K or any of that. I'd rather just go to the park and play football, or go to the soccer field and play soccer. And Airsoft for me hits on that note of, why am I sitting here mad at Call of Duty where people are paying $900,000 a month to cheat and upset me, when I could be out doing this and working out and building that camaraderie and making friends and furthering my life and staying healthy. You know, there's so many benefits to this as a sport outside of the competitive aspect to it, and even the competitive aspect that is there. I mean, man, if you're a competitive person, this is the sport for you 100%. As long as you can be a good player and a good sport, you know, the competitiveness is here for you.
Yeah, and I would have to agree. And then also too, I mean, just in the limited time of our friendship, I mean, our viewers, I'm sure, can attest to this, like the fluidity of just us being able to have a conversation with one another. And I think that breeds familiarity when it comes to the field. You develop, like you said, that camaraderie with one another, and you're like, holy cow, like this is such a cool experience to be able to, oh, I have a little rage bait right there because the guy freaking shot me up like 20 times. But I mean, this has just been such a wonderful experience, and I'm just so excited to have you on the video. And, you know, I look forward to having more roundtables with more of our teammates involved. And one of the reasons why it's just, you know, Cap and I tonight is just because we want to kind of introduce you guys into this a little bit soft. We kind of want to introduce you guys into this as like, this is something that I hope that we can do on a weekly basis, where we get all of our guys together and we do kind of a roundtable with one another, and we just kind of sit and we just kind of talk and, you know, just jive in the sport and, you know, just come together and support one another.
Oh, look at that beautiful man in that box up there. Hey, shout out real quick. I want to take a second to shout out to Dom and Jenner and Sandra over at Battle Lab Las Vegas, man. Dom, what an amazing ref, dude. The game modes, the dude puts a ton of work into everything he does. I mean, we're the only field that I know of that has a working RCXD and RCXD game modes, and Dom did that out of his pocket, along with all of the other cool stuff that he does and the guns and stuff that he buys. And then same with Jenner, man. He really helps build the community. He teaches people stuff. He gets people going. You know, you ever need any help with anything, he's got you. And then Sandra knows her way around that battle lab better than anybody. So I want to give them a quick shout out. Thank you guys for all that you do.
Yeah, seriously, I have to piggyback on that, guys. I mean, Jenner, Dom, Sandra, if you guys are watching this video, seriously, we would not have the field experience that we have without you guys. You know, like with Dom, the amount of attention to detail, effort, and can we take a moment to really appreciate the level of safety that goes into our sport? How these guys are like hawks with any type of a safety malfunction or anything like that of the sort.
Yeah, and you know there's not a place that I feel safer. I mean, I tell you right now, any one of them would make an excellent range master. Like they're on top of their stuff. Their heart and soul gets poured in every day that they show up and clock in, and even off the clock. And on top of that, they're just great all around. They're pleasant to be around. They make it a good experience. It's it's Airsoft Disneyland every time I go there, and I can't thank that place enough. It's really helped me and my community flourish into what it has become. And I dare I say, without Battle Lab, I mean, we wouldn't even have the nights. Like you were touching on earlier, we all learn from each other, and we've become a very fluid group. Well, I don't really do, what's the word? Tryouts, right? I don't really do tryouts or interviews or anything like that. We just kind of absorb the people that play the best with the team and that fit the best with the dynamic and the morals that we stand for. Knights Forge is more than just a name. We stand for the morals of a knight. We want to help produce, procure, and maintain safety and fun in this sport. And everybody that's come together, man, it's all happened naturally, and it's all been because of this place. Just continuing on the track that we're on, man. You put out great gameplay videos. I'd like to get some more gameplay videos out for the team. I'd like to really get our YouTube running. I mean, as you know, we're a newer team. We've only been a team for just over a year. So we're getting a lot of